Welcome to Let Your Light Shine, the podcast where we illuminate the path to your best self. I'm your host, John Louis Hardrick, and I'm so excited to have you join us on this journey of empowerment and self-discovery. Today, and in each episode, we'll dive deep into the themes inspired by the book, Let Your Light Shine, Unleashing Your Inner Glow through Essential Self-Care Practices for Empowered Women. This podcast is for anyone seeking to cultivate their inner glow, embrace their power, and truly let their light shine. In our conversations, we'll explore different topics that resonate with women and girls from all walks of life. We'll discuss the SHINE method, practical and transformative self-care practices like sleep, proper hydration, tuning into our intuition, and nourishing our bodies while remaining fully engaged. But that's not all. We'll also delve into cultivating joy through hobbies, practicing grace, forgiveness, and engaging in activities that make our souls light up. Each episode features incredible women who share their stories, wisdoms, and insights. They're entrepreneurs, creatives, professionals, mothers, daughters, all shining examples of how embracing these practices can lead to a fulfilled and empowered life. So whether you're looking to ignite a new spark in your life or fan the flames of an existing one, Let Your Light Shine is here to guide and inspire you. Remember, for more resources and information, you can always visit lightshinebook.com. Let's get started and explore together how we can all let our light shine brighter. Join me, John Louis Hardrick, in this empowering journey. Here's to letting our lights shine together. And now, let's dive in to today's episode. Hey, it's Jocelyn Hardrick, and we're back for another great episode of Let Your Light Shine, talking about unleashing our inner glow through essential self-care practices for empowered women. So in this book, I talk about my own personal journey with self-care, and it is a journey that I am still on. Every time I go through a different change in my life, it's a new part of the journey. And I've had to continually remind myself to take care of myself, pour into my own cup, make sure it's full and overflowing, and I can serve people not just from my cup, but from the overflow of my cup. Lisa Nichols taught me that. Love me some Lisa Nichols. And, this is probably my third book about self-care. My first book was called Finding Joy in the Journey to Esquire, a guide to renewal for lawyers and law students, because as a lawyer, I got burnt out, all the way out, like ready to leave law, burnt out. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I worked too hard to become a lawyer. I'm not just going to walk away because I'm having this bad experience. But when you get burnt out, you just don't have a good sense of what's going on. You're so overwhelmed. And then my second book is called Bar Exam Best Mode. So that doesn't sound like a self-care book, but it's about the mindset, getting the right mindset to pass the bar exam, which is the big exam that students take, and they end up not doing well on the exam because their mindset is in the wrong place. If you graduate from law school, guess what? You have what it takes to pass the bar exam. But a lot of students struggle. And so in trying to help students, I realized, okay, it's a mindset issue. They got to believe they can pass. They have to stay motivated. They have to know their why so they can get through all the tedious activities that are involved in studying for a big exam like that. And they have to know what's waiting for them on the other side is something that they're looking forward to. And so that's Bar Exam Best Mode. Just wrapped up the audiobook for that. So that's great. And then I got unexpectedly pregnant. I thought I couldn't get pregnant. I had an 8-year-old son, doing okay, and find out, uh-oh, I'm pregnant. End up having one of those COVID babies. It's a real big surprise. I was shocked. And I mean shocked. Until I delivered her, I was kind of like, I can't believe I have a baby inside of me. She's an absolute blessing. Love her. And I saw her and I said, I guess you wanted to be here, baby girl. And here she is. But, I had all these plans for my life and my businesses and my career, and all of that had to be put on hold because when you have a newborn child, they need your attention 24/7, and then you need to take extra care of yourself so that you can take extra care of that newborn baby. And so I'm still in that journey. She's still very young, and that's required a different level of self care. And so this book, Let Your Light Shine, was a love letter to myself to remember to take care. And I decided to share it with all of you. So in this podcast, we're going to have different guests, but some episodes are going to be solo episodes like the one we're having right now, where I just get to talk to you. I want this to be almost like a book club, right? Sometimes you want to do book clubs, but you can't meet the schedule, you meet in person, get the book. Da, 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 da. Like I've never been able to do a book club because there's too many rules, and I don't want to do all that. I just want to read the book when I'm ready to read it, and then talk about it when I'm ready to talk about it. So what's nice about this platform is join in when you want to, or don't read the book. You don't have to read the book to benefit from all this. But I'd like you to read it. I'd like you to get it. I've self-published it, and I always keep the price accessible because the point is to put it out there in the world and let it be a resource. Have ebook, paperback, audiobook. We also have a journal that you can use. An affirmations book is going to come out, and that's going to help you create personalized affirmations. And then there's going to be a quick 7-day action journal. Little book, slim, pick it up, do one thing every day for 7 days, about 15 minutes, for you to just start the process of self care again. The journal has that action plan in the beginning, but some people don't want the journal part, right? Especially if you're like a digital native, you want everything on a computer. I recommend having something that's not on a digital device because a digital device has all those alerts that's going to distract you. And when you just have pen and paper in front of you, that's it. Harder to get distracted. Today, we're going to talk about the S in shine, sleep. We got to get that sleep, ladies. You know how you are when you don't get sleep. I know how I am when I don't get sleep. My whole life, I have struggled with sleep, and it wasn't until I was adult that I realized that it was allergies causing my problems. I have a really bad dust mite allergy. And any of you who are familiar with dust mites, they live in pillows, comforters, blankets, sheets, and mattresses. They love those spaces, and they feed off of our skin cells and our sweat and all that stuff. So they love beds. And every time I would go to bed so tired, ready to go to sleep, I would get congested. I couldn't breathe. I tossed and turned. Turns out it's a dust mite allergy. And I didn't know till I was a grown up. When I was a little older, I at least got introduced to allergy medication. So that would help me sleep. Made me sleepy. So I took it at night and then I'd be able to actually sleep and get a good night's rest. But for most of my life, I'd wake up with very puffy eyes, puffy face, congested, and, having a terrible night's sleep. When I don't have a good night's sleep, I'm cranky. I can't think straight. I have to push myself through everything. And once you have kids, pets, loved ones, now that crankiness is spilling over into them, and it's not their fault that you're not getting good sleep. So it's really important that we get good sleep for that reason, so that we can be our best selves and in a good mood. Another reason is deep restorative sleep is very cleansing for our brain and our body. Our brains, especially when we sleep, clears out all the extra stuff, all the waste created in our brains. Just like our body creates waste, and when we release it through urine and other ways, our brain has that as well. And at night, when it's deep sleep, it kind of clears it out. I don't want to get too scientific and technical into it. I do cover that in Bar Exam Best Mode. But just understand that if you're not getting deep restorative sleep, that is not happening, which is why you have brain fog, which is why your memory starts to lapse. All the stuff that we complain about as we get older is not really about our bodies breaking down, it's our bodies needing a break. And we're not giving it the break that it needs. And so it starts to behave in ways we don't want. Forgetfulness, fatigue, body aches, crankiness, memory lapses. So, deep restorative sleep is really important to keep our brain sharp. Another reason why you want good sleep is because you dream during deep sleep. You enter into REM sleep, REM, rapid eye movement. Your sleep has to get really deep for that to happen. And I like to see dreams as our mind's way of resolving problems we have during the day. It's our mind's way of connecting to spirits and to our ancestors and to the divine. If we can't get into that deep state, we don't have the dreams. And some people say they can't remember their dreams, but the reality is we can if we train ourselves how to remember it. You have deep sleep, you wake up in the morning, pen and paper right next to your table. Before you go to sleep, you say, I'm going to remember my dreams when I wake up. Sleep, do everything you can to get that nice deep sleep, right? The right temperature, the right clothing, the right time for your body type and your tendencies. Empty bladder, right? Empty stomach, you don't want to be full. And then when you wake up, you're more likely to remember it. And because you have pen and paper, you can write down your first thoughts. And then you train yourself to remember your dreams. And then what you're going to find is, oh, my dreams are sending me all these messages. When we go to sleep, our subconscious mind takes over, right? That's why our bodies have to stay still because our subconscious mind takes over. And there's a treasures in there. As I started to get better sleep and do things like meditate, which can simulate the benefits of sleep, even short periods of meditation, if it's done consistently, creativity just started to flow. It is flowing so much, I can barely keep up with it. Everyone's like, how do you do all these things? How do you write all these books? I'm like, man, I can't even keep up with the creativity coming through me. And it's in you too. I don't have a special gift. I have something that's within all human beings, and I want you to know that. One of the ways to help it come out more, get that sleep, girl. Okay? So, a great quote from the journal that I have is sleep is an investment in the energy you need to be effective tomorrow. Tom Roth said that. It's an investment in the energy you need tomorrow. It's not a waste of time, it is an investment. And I remember when I started visiting law firms, people kept saying this saying with a touch of pride, like you'll sleep when you die. And I remember thinking, no, you sleep or you'll die. So you're gonna fall asleep at the wheel. Your body's just gonna break down on you. Like there's been experiments on what happens to people when they deprive them of sleep over extended periods of time. Their memory goes, they lose touch with reality, they just can't function right. And they over time, it becomes a real problem. Like their brain is no longer able to repair the damage because it gets so damaged. People who have work at night, right? Nurses and like my mom was a postal worker and she would work at night. Comedians and people who do the night shift. It wears on your body over time because we're not designed to do that. If you are in that situation though, there are things you can do to help yourself heal and recover from that experience, but you have to be even more intentional about taking care of yourself if you're in that situation. So, what are you doing to maximize your sleep, to get that deep, restorative sleep that your body needs? Are you going to go out there and figure out what your chronotype is, meaning it figures out what your tendencies are? Do you like to wake up early or go to sleep late? I'm an early bird. Some people are a night owl. And then you'll hear people talk about this 5 a.m. club stuff, and that's how you get things done. Well, if you are an early bird, that will work for you. But if you're a night owl, waking up at 5 a.m. is not going to work. And forcing yourself to do it can backfire. So I like to wake up early. It's nice and quiet. I can get my water. I can meditate before everybody gets up. But then my family wakes up still pretty early too, about 6 a.m. So we're just an early bird house and it works for us. And we go to bed at 8 or 9. And I get a lot of stuff done during the day. But if you try to have me stay up late doing stuff, after 8 o'clock, my brain's like, no, I'm done. I don't want to do anything anymore. I've tried. My worst grades in school were during night classes. The mistakes I make and typo, all that increases at night. So I know morning time is the right time for me. Figure out what the right time is for you. Go through the book and look at some of the tips I have and listen to these other episodes where these ladies share some of the things they're doing to maximize their sleep. And listen, none of us are perfect. No one of us is trying to be perfect. We just want to make progress. We just want to be aware. Sometimes you could just one little tip can make a difference. Like, for example, once I realized I had that allergy to dust mites, now I use special sheets. Now I have to wash them a certain way, and I take allergy medication to go to sleep. That one little thing, one piece of information helped me sleep so much better. And if I'm reacting, I know what's happening and how to address it. So that's all we're asking you to do. What are you doing for sleep? Sound off in the comments. Let us know what your best tips are, the little golden nugget that you might have gotten out of this episode, and tune in for our next one. We're going to be talking about hydration. As we come to the close of another enlightening episode of Let Your Light Shine, I want to thank you sincerely for joining us today. It's been a true joy and privilege to share this space with you and our inspiring guest. Before we part ways, I'd like to leave you with a small nugget of wisdom to carry with you. Remember, the light you hold within is a beacon of hope, strength, and beauty. It's uniquely yours, and when you let it shine, you not only illuminate your own path, but also light the path of others. If you've been inspired by our conversation today, I encourage you to explore more at lightshinebook.com, where you can find additional resources and support on your journey to unleashing your inner glow. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with someone who might also benefit from its message. Remember to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode of Let Your Light Shine. As we say goodbye for now, remember that every day is an opportunity to embrace your power, cultivate joy, and most importantly, let your light shine. Until next time, I'm Jocelyn Jean-Louis Hardrick, wishing you peace, love, and light. Thank you for listening, and keep shining bright.